All right, here we go. Stepping into week 6 already. That's pretty crazy. We're almost halfway through the season, and things are looking interesting. This was kind of a week of evening up, though, here a little bit. So, first of all, a couple of heartbreaks this week. The biggest one probably coming with Terry Raven losing by a half point to Dan Smith. In their matchup, Monday night always brings interesting uh, games to look at, and it did not disappoint this week with who got the big point. Seemed like one of these guys. I can't remember who it was, but ended up with a half point. That was pretty crazy. Rivers did a great job, 20 points again, and it wasn't enough though. Terry woke up to a half point defeat. Those are brutal, putting Dan Smith with a winning record at 3-2, and Terry just under 500 at 2-3. The other one was a tie, our first tie of the season. Had to go back and check, and it does look like the tiebreaker is bench points. So in that one, the win actually went to Scott Mayo, leaving Brent with just one win for the season at 1-4. He is down there with Tommy Brown, switching it up at 1-4. I noticed Tom got the replacement for Charles on the waiver wire this week, so losing can have some benefits. Silver lining is the new running back for Tom, and hopefully it leads him to a win because he's at 1-4 with Brent Simons. Low point total of the week: 67 points by John Crosby. Who'd have thunk it? By far the biggest point getter of the season. Had been just dominant and puts up 67 points. Let's see who let him down. Matt Ryan did with 6. Jamal Charles gets injured for the season. That's going to hurt his lineup. Only got him 7.5 points. -5 from the Jaguars defense. You'd have thought he would know not to start the Jaguars defense. 4.5 points from Travis Kelce, 10 from A.J. Green. Highest point getter was Julio Jones with only 14.5. So a definite anomaly for John this week. He's still got a great team. His bench put up 40 points. So he's got some talent there, but boy, it looked at the beginning of the season like he was just untouchable. And this week, he's the lowest point getter of the week. So we'll see. Maybe he kicked a puppy or something during the week. You never know. High point total of the week. Yours truly, 148.5 points. It's coming together, boys. Looking at my lineup, highest point getter for me, Dougie Martin, 34.5 from the Muscle Hamster. How about that? He's on bye, as is Joseph Randall this week, unfortunately, as I meet up with Brian Moore with really no running back to speak of. But Julian Edelman, my shiny new toy, got me 23. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it, buddy. Odell Beckham did his thing at 21.5. Eli Manning's been playing great for me, 28 points from him. So that ODB from Eli back-to-back stack is working out well. So we'll see if it continues, but feeling a lot better than I did 2 weeks ago when I was sitting at 0-3. Now with 2 wins, hoping to get to 500 this week against a tough Brian Moore team, but second mouse, man, chugging. I'm coming. What else stood out? Brian Moore did have 121 points in all but 2 matchups. It took more than 100 points to win, more than 110 points to win. So if you're not putting up 110 points and you happen to get a win, it's luck, basically. It's luck of the draw. So hopefully you're adjusting your lineups, going to the waiver wire, improving your situation, and trying to get to that at least 100-point mark, but it looks like it might take more than that. I mean, again, Brent put up 112 in the really loss, even though it was a tie. So there's been those every week where somebody's putting up over 100 points and taking a hit. Brian Lord put up 111. He took a hit. And got the loss too because Brian Moore put up a little bit more than him. So let's go to the standings. Things are tightening up a little bit. Now you've got John Crosby and Brian Moore tied with the best record in the league and in their division. They're both at 4-1. A bunch of teams, 4 teams at 3-2, including Greg Williams, JD, Josh, and Dan Smith. 4 more teams at 2-3, including myself, Mayo, Raven, and my brother Brian with an E, And then 2 teams bringing up at the bottom, Victory Cruise for Brent Simons and Tommy Brown was switching it up. So pretty evenly distributed here. Nobody's more than 3 games out, so statistically everybody's in it right now. But again, Jamal Charles' injury was a big one. Julio Jones is a little bit dinged up. So you're going to start hitting bye weeks this week. I noticed that you've got a lot of bye players on this week. So hopefully you've got some depth to make it through. And we'll see how it goes this week. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. We'll catch up with you soon.